TV. Time for Lifestyle Daily. My name is Godwin Nambo, here with Emefa Akosia Adeti. And our guest this morning for Lifestyle Daily, he's a big man, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, he's no new face of the AM Club. Emefa said, you when it's investment and savings time, then we see you. Desmond Bredu, let me add all the accolades to it. ACCA, MCSI. He's the head client coverage at Stanbic Investment Management Services. Happy New Year, my brother.
Happy New Year to you and yours.
Hey,
So good to see you.
That's one. How are you? When I see, I start
Money
taking a
matters.
trip back into
Yeah.
my bank account. This
Yeah.
one is coming to remind you what you have to do.
Absolutely.
It's good.
How's your year started for you?
So far, so good. The festive period, we had time to spend with family, and now we are back to the grind. So I think it's good.
At least you're coming to tell us to say we don't have money.
And I mean, can know.
It discount
All the
in December.
expenses. Me tia first fruits ni tights ni me mama nji we kakra na we so nji we kakra. Me dey saving and invest as well.
It's. I don't think you're alone, right? Almost everybody has gone through it. If you've been through this festive period, realize that January is really, really, really long. It has 5 Mondays, 5 Tuesdays, and 5 Wednesdays. It's really long. Yeah. So I think it's therefore very important that we start right. And so the little things we can do, because we know that it's very difficult, especially in this January. So hopefully our conversation will just draw a few insights on what people can do to sort of navigate their year right. So really, yeah.
Why is it important to even consider savings and investment in the first place?
You see, I'll touch on it briefly, but I think for every person, we are not just a now thing. We have a future that will definitely come, right? So it's important we think of the future. So for me, I think of savings and investment as a gift to your future self. Because if everything you spend today, what gift are you giving to yourself? And the second reason is that if you get all your money and you end up spending it, you are paying other people. What are you using to pay yourself? So take savings and investment as the pay you are paying yourself. For example, you pay your electricity bill, you're paying Ghana Water, you are paying your children's school fees, you are paying other people. What are you paying yourself? So use savings and investment as the pay you are receiving for yourself. So that's for me. I'll go more into details when I'm doing the presentation. But
This one is insurance investment.
No, it's not. It's part of personal finance, but we have some insurance packages that have investments embedded in it. But as a standalone, it's not necessarily. It's just to either transfer your risk to somebody, a third party, because maybe it's too much for you to bear. So you want to transfer that risk. Maybe, for example, a car insurance. If somebody hits your car right now, you don't have to dip into your savings and investment.
Right.
You can just rely on a third party insurance to then cater for it for you. But it's not an investment. And if you look at the purpose of insurance, it's just to restore you to your previous position.
Not to make you...
Better off, sort of
Right.
thing. So that's why necessarily it's not an investment per se. Yes.
Okay, let's get into it. I needed that clarity.
Yes,
Let's get
yes.
into it. So
All
savings
right.
and investments, you
Yes.
say?
So let me just drag this chair a bit back so that we can have... Yes.
Get your pen.
What exactly?
Yeah, it's important because one time I was having a presentation and the person was like, you can't keep everything in your mind.
Yes.
So the little things that you can just jot down, it's really important. So the focus of today's conversation will just be on savings and investment. And for me, there's a fundamental difference between the two of them. Because people will say, oh, I'm saving. I'm saving. But many people think it's investment. No, it's two different things. So this will just break it down. Now, when you say savings, it's just when you set aside money for a future expense. So, for example, you put money in a susu box. You put money under your bed. Our mothers put money somewhere they even forget. You are saving money. But savings goes beyond just keeping money away, even your Momo account, whatever it is. If, for example, MFA, you have 10 cedis to spend in a given day, and you choose to spend 7 cedis instead of 10 cedis, you've effectively saved the 3 cedis. So when you delay consumption, you've also what? Saved. Now, coming to this, for many people, what we do is that when we get our money, we immediately start spending. But actual equation should be that when you get your income, you should take out your savings and investment first before you think of expenditure. Have you been in a situation where you've gotten your money, where you realize that, where did all of this money go? Before you realize everything is done. And it's because when you take out income, you start going with the expenditure first. So if you want to save and invest, you need to immediately take your savings and investments from your income first before you spend.
Right.
Now, most often than not, when you spend before you save, you end up with nothing. Like I was saying, there's a difference between savings and investment. So we save to then invest. What is then is investment? So investment is when you buy assets or securities which you expect a return. So for example, you buy land hoping that in 2-3 years' time the land value will appreciate. You put money in a business. You buy, say, stocks. I'll explain all of this later on. But it's a matter of you putting money aside for the future where you expect what? A return on that investment. And you can see it's totally different from just keeping money aside in a bank account or even your Momo wallet or even keeping it under your bed.
Right.
Because it's still saved.
Yeah.
But if you keep money under your bed, after 10 years, if you kept 100 CDs, it is still what? 100 CDs. But I'm sure I'll go into further details. But that's basically the distinction I wanted to sort of give here between savings and investment, if that's okay.
Yes.
Now, let me just again still zoom on the savings bit because like I was giving a typical example of savings going beyond just keeping money away, where you have ways of saying, for example, like I was giving an example, you have 10 CDs that you want to choose to spend only 7 CDs where you've saved. So how can then you optimize your savings? Now, I say optimization because it's important that whatever little things you can do to ensure that you have enough room to go around this year, you do. And that's why you need to optimize the ways you can save. Number one, avoiding lifestyle inflation or lifestyle creep. What do I mean by this? So, for example, where you have situations where when I was doing my national service, I always use this example. I was heavy on gobe. Really, really heavy on gobe. That's the beans. For those who don't know, that's the beans. But as you go on, you realize that your taste buds keep changing with the level of income. So this year, even if you get an increment, make sure that maybe you get a promotion, whatever it may be, make sure that you are still living as if that promotion is not there. Existent. So that's what we call lifestyle inflation. Downsize.
So at what point will you try your name? with all this, I have
Hard work.
I'll come to enjoyment because enjoyment is also really important.
Okay.
When we go on to one of the goals every young person should have, enjoyment is really, really important.
Okay.
So I'll come to enjoyment as you go along. We are young people, so as for enjoyment, you can't do away with
yes,
that.
indeed.
Now, downsizing, where, for instance, you have, say, 2 cars, you don't have to maybe use all of them at the same time. If you can just go out with 1 car, you avoid maintenance cost. Even downsizing can even come still in entertainment, or even if you go out 4 times in a month, if you go to 2 times in a month, you've downsized in a certain way. All of these things can save you some little money here and there throughout the year. Then I've already spoken about automating your savings or paying yourself really first. It's really important. Then accountability partners, somebody you can trust to talk about your money. If you want to come to me, you can come to me and talk about it. Just for you, MFI, and God will speak about it. Then also, you need to track your expenses, because if you want to know how you can improve, it's about knowing where your money is going to. If you don't know where your money is going to, then there's no way of knowing how you can then improve. Investment. So for many of us, there are 2 questions that are on our mind. Let's find out everything that's going on, should I still consider investment? We've had DDP, we've had mark-to-market, we have, economic crisis, everything. Should I still consider investment? And even if I'm considering investment, how then will I know I'm making the right choice? So these questions are on people's mind. And I ran a survey a couple of months, and these were the 2 questions that stood out for me. And I was like, okay, then let's touch on this. Because if you're thinking of investments and this is on people's mind, we need to clarify this. So I'll go to the first one. Should I still consider investment in these times? And it just speaks to your first question you asked me about whether investment is still relevant. Number 1 point, like I was saying, we are not a now people. It's just about future as well. We have times where we have rainy days, so you can rely on your investment. If you spend everything, what are you relying on when there's a rainy day? Number 2, you can earn some money on your money. So if you have, like I will give an example of if you keep money under your bed, if it's 100 CDs, after 10 years, it's still 100 CDs. But when you invest the money, if you say you buy a land, you could, I said you could, not you will definitely have to, but it gives you the opportunity to sort of earn some money on your money. Inflation. Do you know that inflation as of November last year was 26.4? Think about it again in practical terms. If you bought something in November 2021 for 100 CDs, As of November 2022, inflation was 54%. As of 2023, it was 26%. So for 100 cedis, something you bought in November 2021, you need 190 cedis to buy the same thing in 2023 November. So imagine this year, because there's inflation happening, which is just the general increase in price levels. So if inflation is still there, why are you keeping money under your bed? Or why are you not investing? Because inflation is eroding the value of your money away. So once you invest the money, then you can make a return on the money to at least show up the inflation. So for example, instead of needing 190 cedis, you have an investment bringing you, say, 20 cedis. So that you can only have to bring the 70 cedis to what? To join in. How then do you make a good choice? I think it's really important because if you don't get this right, you can just invest for investing's sake.
Yeah.
I think it's important that we realize how we make a really good choice when it comes to investment. The first thing you should realize when it comes to investment is the why. Why am I investing? What are your investment goals and objectives? And for MFA, maybe the enjoyment is a goal. So it could be anything at all, whether it's travel, whether it's enjoyment, whether it's your children's education. If you're, again, MFA gives an example of the enjoyment. You want to enjoy in 3 months' time. You can put, and I use this as an example, if Virgin Colada is 10 cedis today, in 3 months' time, there's a high likelihood that it's not 10 cedis, probably 12 or 15 cedis. And you don't want to have to dip into your finances to do that. So you can invest your money such that that birthday that's coming up in 3 months' time, you don't have to dip into your finances again. And that's the enjoyment bit. So you need to know whatever you are investing for. Is it a short term? Is it medium term? Is it long term? You can have as many goals as you want. And each of them would have to speak to the kind of investment that you do. So for example, you want to say Japan in, say, 9 months' time. And this one says, oh, invest for the travel. And you go and invest in, say, shares. And probably in 9 months' time, the value of the shares has dropped. It has not helped you achieve the goal you're looking for. So whatever you want to invest in, let's say align with the reason or your objective for investment. It's really, really crucial. And like I said, it could be anything at all. You determine what your goals and objectives are. And goals for Godwin will be different from MFA and different from me as well.
What does holding to the side mean?
Exactly. So, there are times where you don't know what to do. Maybe you are thinking of an opportunity. Maybe you're thinking of maybe acquiring a particular property, a particular land, or you're not too sure what to do next with your money. Even in that time, inflation is still there. Inflation is still taking value out of your money. So even in those times, you still have to invest those money.
Okay. So you can actually hold to decide on all
these.
This.
So if you're holding to decide, then you have to keep it in a short-term investment.
Right.
Okay.
Such that when you make the decision, okay, now I want to buy this car, then I want to buy this property, then you just immediately move it out to. And even if you earn 10 cedis on that 2 days or that 3 days, it's money. You can use that money to buy airtime.
Yeah.
I hope you get that. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's really crucial. The next thing, after knowing your goals, is knowing that, okay, that investment I'm going to do, does it align with my risk tolerance? What do I mean? Let me give you a simple example. If I gave you 2 options, and I come to you, Gordon, as well. This, imagine, like say, a fictional coin. There's heads and there's tails. If you choose not to flip the coin, you are guaranteed $50,000 US. Choose not to flip at all. But if you flip and you get the heads, you can win $1 million. Are you flip? But if you get the tails, you lose. You get nothing.
You get nothing at all.
You lose the 50,000 too, or
you lose the 50,000. That's if you get the 50,000 only if you choose not to flip.
Not to flip.
But when you flip and you get the heads, you can get the $1 million. But if you get the tails, you lose everything. MF, are you flipping or you're not flipping? MF is thinking deep. $50,000.
I'll flip.
You flip. What if I make it $200,000? If you don't flip, guarantee $200,000.
I'll still flip.
What about $500,000?
Okay.
If you don't flip, $500,000. If you flip, you can win
$1 million.
you can win $2 million.
It's increased again.
If whatever I'm flipping is higher than not flipping,
Yes.
I'll still flip.
You still flip. So even if then let me make it tricky for you. If you don't flip, $10 million guaranteed. If you flip, you can win $15 million.
15.
15.
Yes.
So the don't flip higher than no. Still
No,
at
no,
the
it's
flip.
still low.
Me so long as the flipping is higher, I'll flip.
You flip. Okay.
Right.
What about you, Godwin?
No. So I will maintain.
You maintain.
For 10 and 15 million.
Yes.
If I flip, and I'll get 15 million.
Yes.
If I don't flip, I'll maintain my 10 million.
Yes.
And if in case I flip and I get a tails, I lose everything.
You lose everything.
I'll maintain the 10 million because it's just a 5 million addition.
Difference. But if it was 100,000 to a million, would you flip?
100,000 maintained.
If you flip, I mean a million. Would
Yes,
you?
I'll flip.
You flip.
Yeah.
So you see, what I've tried to demonstrate is your risk tolerance. At the 100,000, you were willing and able to
Let go.
let go. But at 10 million, you're like, mm-mm. So that is how much risk you are willing and able to take. That's what that risk tolerance is about. So if you say, okay, Desmond is investing into something, and Desmond tells me that, oh, this money, when you put money here, you can probably lose money in 2 days' time, but you can actually gain money double. You can ask yourself, am I willing and able to take on that risk? If you are not, it's okay. You don't have to invest in that thing. So there are people who are low risk, people who don't want any form of risk. There should be investment for you. There are people who are moderate risk tolerant, and also people who are aggressive. Like if I must say, so far as the money is higher, I will flip. I think MFA will fall in this category.
risk.
But sometimes when push comes to shove MFA, you realize that you're not as risk tolerant as you think you are. I did a survey some time ago, and I mean, practice with some people. They filled some questionnaire. A questionnaire will help you determine where you're falling. Somebody said, oh, I'm very high risk. When you finish the survey, you're actually lower than low risk.
Wow.
Yeah, because the coin, right, it's not my money. I had not put anything there.
Yes. But you see, after everything,
Do you understand why I'm flipping completely?
Right.
Because you
it's
don't
not-
have
it's not
anything
yours
to
at
lose.
It
all.
was on my.
but you see,
I feel like I was gambling.
Makes sense.
Right?
Yes.
But if that coin was my money,
Then
right,
you
if-
think about it
then
again.
so you see, for example, say net worth. So if, for example, the money you stand to lose won't necessarily change anything you have, you'll be like, after I can tolerate this. I can put 1,000 in this investment, knowing that even if it goes bad, it won't necessarily affect me.
yeah,
But if I'm putting $10 million on the line,
yeah.
it can shake my world. And in fact, it
Yeah.
will shake my world. So I wouldn't want to
Yeah.
do that. So that's how you can align what you're putting your money into with. It's a simple scenario, but once you think about it, am I willing to lose 10 CDs, 100 CDs? If it doesn't, then you know that this is not for me.
Okay. So the import of the message here is that no matter what, you must be willing to take
some amount
some
of risk.
amount of risk.
Because
at
risk
all costs.
is present in every investment. Matter of fact, when it comes to investment, there are two forms of risk. We have risk that is systematic, whether you like it or not. Example, inflation. You can't say I'm a pastor, so my inflation is 2%. I'm a lawyer, my inflation is 10%. If inflation exists, it exists for
Everybody.
everybody. But if I choose to put my money in, say, cocoa farming, the kind of risk I'll face is different from if I put my money in maize farming. It's still agriculture, but the risk with cocoa and maize are different. Those we call unsystematic risk. It doesn't affect everybody. It affects, say, MFI alone. Because probably she's risk tolerant, the same risk won't affect you because probably you are low risk investor. I hope it makes sense. Yes.
Desmond,
Yes.
is it necessarily the case of the higher the risk, the higher the return?
So, in fact, it's the higher the risk, the higher the expected return.
Return.
So, expected because what
Not
you
certain.
exactly there's a risk in every investment. Even in Ghana, we've had to redefine what risk-free rate is. So, I mean, I won't go into details, but for people who know, they will know what I mean. But we have to redefine risk.
Expected. Okay.
But it's expected return because it can actually go bad, and we've seen investment that have gone bad in many.
Are there not investments that no matter all the things that you have said, you still have the expected calculated return that you're supposed to have on?
So, in theory, we use the U.S. Treasury as the proxy for risk-free. But even that, like I was saying, if inflation exists, you can't say that even for US, they still have inflation. So inflation will still eat the value of the money away. But in terms of, we have other risks, for example, default risk, where the person you are giving your money to will not pay you back. If they say the default, like what happened in our country.
Yeah.
Those sort of risk probably will not exist in certain markets, you understand. But as for risk, wherever, even if you are drinking water, even if you are sleeping, crossing the road, risk is present.
Right.
So just think about it in that way. It's super present in everything that we do.
Very well.
So then, how then do you maximize your portfolio? If you have many investments, how then, or what do you have to do? Number one, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversification. Ensure that all your money is not in one asset. What do I mean? You put everything in treasury bills. You put everything in fixed deposit. You put everything in your business. You put everything you have in that land. It shouldn't be. Have a bit of, say if you have land, you have a business, you have equity, you have different things you are doing, such that if one thing should go bad, another thing can what? Can support you. It's really important. Number two, safety. For me, I'll choose safety over high unsustainable returns. Number three, do proper due diligence. MFI is smiling because we've seen a lot of happening in our country where people have lost money because they didn't do proper due diligence. If it's too good to be true,
then it's too good to be true.
What is proper due diligence for a consumer?
So for example, let's say you want to know whether they are licensed, who the directors are, how long have they been in operation, what are other people doing about, saying about, you can even check online. Are they saying it's a scam, is it a fraud? Just simple searches here and there, speaking to other people who probably have, or even speaking to a financial advisor. Have you heard about this product? Does it make sense? Sort of thing. All of these things, it doesn't mean that it will take away the risk. It just shows that at least you are comfortable to tolerate the level of risk with a particular investment.
Right.
I hope that's
Yes, sir.
And for this year, you need to prioritize liquidity or investment that will be able to easily get your money back, because this year is not going to be an easy year in terms of finance. You know, inflation and everything is still going to be a bit on the high side. So you want to ensure that when you need your money back, you have enough money to take care of opportunities that may come your way. So you can probably invest in some short dated instruments, like say a 30-day fixed deposit. Again, it's not investment advice, but depending on what you are looking at, you can look at some liquid asset as well. Then monitor and rebalance. Like I was saying, your goals will change at every point in time.
Yeah.
So as your goals are changing, you have to rebalance or say, okay, no, now this particular investment doesn't suit. I've jackpot already. So that investment doesn't help me anymore. I have to do a different thing. I have to buy the land as my next step. I have to buy the car, property for my next step. So you have to always monitor and rebalance. So to conclude, even in these times, investing is still relevant. And I've given you the reasons why. But you need to understand the risk with the investment. I mean, we can speak about the types of investment, but whatever the investment may be, you need to appreciate that there's risk involved. Conduct proper due diligence. Be willing and able to tolerate the risk with that particular investment. And for me, there's no better time to start investing than now.
That's it.
Thank you. Maybe if you have questions on maybe you have questions on the types of investment, we can just touch on it. But basically, because I didn't want to be like a generic, okay, go and buy T-bills, go and buy fixed deposit. Yeah. It should align with the things that I've spoken about, so that if you go into T-bills, if you go into fixed deposit, if you go into FX, whatever it may be, you know that, okay, it aligns with what I want to do, then you are pretty good to go.
Okay, this is pretty detailed, even though very short,
yes.
I must say. We do have some questions. Yes. I'm sure our viewers have some questions as well. We'll do take them if we have some time. Yeah. I'll announce the number. My producer will tell me. But 055-033-1511, 055-033-1511 on WhatsApp. Definitely, we're going to ask you those questions. Yes. I mean, you were talking about inflation and all that, and free consultation from you as you are here. Honestly, Desmond, looking at 2024, what areas would you advise young people to start looking at investing?
Okay. So for young people, number one, they have the opportunity to sort of think long-term, right? At the same time, I also spoke about prioritizing liquidity and also spoke about diversification. So if I'm taking away your goals and everything, because I don't know whatever the person is going through. So this is probably just, in quotes, generic options that they can consider. Not necessarily that it may fit their profile. I hope you get a distinction. Yes, sir. Now, for example, if you want something short-dated, you can think of, say, a 3 months treasury bill because it's 3 months. Again, if it aligns with your risk tolerance, you can go to a bank and buy a fixed deposit. You can come to us at Stanbic and we have a product, a short-term product, where at any point in time you can come for your money. So you can invest for a month, a day, 2 weeks. It's up to you to determine that. If you're thinking long-term, you can think of something like, say, shares. You can think of, can I buy maybe a land that where in 3, 4, 5 years' time? But you know, again, land prices in this part of our country is crazy. A lot of litigation. So you need to be really, really proper with your due diligence. And that's why it cuts across everything.
Should we start looking outside Accra?
For land?
Yes.
Somebody have said.
Should we start looking outside Accra?
I mean,
hoping that
people are already
the
looking
next
at.
few years,
People are already looking
Eastern
at.
region.
In Sawam, it's not hot cake.
People have looked though.
People are already there. If you ask prices at Amasaman, Pokuase, in Sawam,
Cape
Eastern
Coast.
region.
yes,
It's Central region after Kaswa.
it's crazy.
gonna-
But once you think of, okay, I'll have a long-term objective, you can also consider those kind of things. But for young people who don't have so much money, like I was saying, if you come to us at Stanbic, we have a product with 50 CDs. You can start investing for the long term as
Like
well.
50 cities. Like
Yeah,
10
50
city baku
5, yes, you can start investing.
That's
Yes.
okay.
That's. I think that's even if you can start in January, you can do every 10 CDs like
Yeah.
yes. When you get the 50 CDs, they
Small,
can
small,
can
The
start.
watch it that you want to buy from me. Do it till 50.
Hey, watch it is 400 cities, by the way.
Okay,
The
then
watch
you
it
should give me the
is
350, then you can use the 50 CDs. The watch it, but yeah, those are some options that
so-
they can
So
consider.
real estate,
Business,
business.
you can come to Stanbic, you can go look for fixed deposits, you can buy a treasury bill, you can look at some shares as well. Those are some options you can consider.
I keep asking this question about young people wanting to invest in,
Yes.
maybe transport.
Yes.
So say I want to get a small car for
Yes.
Uber,
Yeah.
Yango, Bolt. Is it a good investment?
It's a tricky question to answer, right? Because I've had a lot of people, because I do personal finance on the side, I've had a lot of people come to me that, oh, this one, I tried this thing and a lot of problems, especially if you're not the one driving the car. Every now and then the driver says, oh, the brake is spoiled one way or the other. In fact, I have friends that went into that and they realized nothing from that money, right? So you need to be very cautious. And even now with car prices, it's now for a small item, probably get 80,000, 100,000.
Yeah. Yes.
It means that you need to have a long-term plan in terms of how you can reap this money. So obviously, it may be good business for some people if probably you're doing it on a larger scale, but for many people that I've seen, the returns are not as much as if you're not the one driving it yourself. It's the returns I've seen is not as much as people put it out.
Even
to
if
be.
you're driving it yourself, what are the risks?
Yes.
Obviously, for example, so what I can say is that if you're doing 95, you can drive it to work and after work. So that, for that, your risk is minimized. It's on your way to work and your way. I know some of these drive apps have those functionalities where you can set a destination on where you want to go to. In fact, I have tried it a couple of times.
Interesting.
I showed it on my social media. Like I did to a particular my work and back. So you can also try, and it's always on making extra money. So
Yeah.
So in the morning I can make like 100 cities on my way to work.
Yes.
With my
exactly. So you just direct it, and that's simple ways of making extra
Nobody
money.
go fire me. I'll start making money with my car.
Once you declare an outside business interest that your employers are aware of, I think they should be. It doesn't conflict with the line of business.
You know,
Maybe that's still the general risk of inflation because you don't have control over price of petrol. You know.
But you see, MFA, you are still going to work anyways.
Yeah.
But now somebody's
Yeah.
giving you 50
Extra
CDs
money.
to add to your fuel money.
fuel.
So your overall risk is sort of what?
It was the app again. I want to start.
he will tell
I'll
us.
tell you after.
Yes. But I mean, it's a bit tricky too because
Yeah.
we've had advice from financial people like you who say, you know what, like you said, diversify
Yes.
in terms of investment, and your sources of income too should be
Multiple. Yes.
So, for many young people who are afraid to, they want to start a business like the transport thing you're talking about, or should I leave my job and focus on growing it, or do I stay in my job and find a way to go about it?
What do I say?
Yes.
So Dave Ramsey says something, and it says, change is painful, right? And many people won't change until the pain of where they are is lesser than the pain of change. What do I mean? If where you are, you are really struggling, there's a lot of pain there, then you need to make that change. But if where you are, you can have other sources to join. So, for example, you're doing a 9 to 5. You can have a side business that does not conflict with your 9 to 5. I wouldn't tell you that, oh, stop this particular one. Rather, add it to it.
Okay.
Because if it's just one, because even if you shift, it's still just one source of income.
Yeah.
It is even much more difficult than the 9 to 5.
Right.
And it's supposed to be a long-term thing as well. So even in those times where you're looking at, okay, how can I build my business? If you have the 9 to 5 income coming in, it's really, really supportive. It can really, really be beneficial. So don't just jump into it without realizing that, no, it could go bad. Just take it gradually. And hopefully once you have your systems in place, you can make a difference in that aspect as well.
A second hack.
Okay.
Do you think that we should start looking at, and I don't know, it's not a system here in Ghana,
Yeah.
but for instance, in Europe, where you can work for 6 hours,
Yes.
you work 6 hours here, 3 hours here, 3 hours there, 2 hours here, you know,
Yes.
multiple jobs,
Yes.
getting different sources of income. In Ghana, do you think people should start looking at businesses where you get to work half a day and then focus on, you know, if you have another thing happening for you, then you focus on growing that as well to give you money? Because everybody is 8 to 5, 9 to
That
5.
job, if there's availability of that job,
Yes.
I think
Yeah,
a lot of
I
people.
mean-
That's why 24-hour economy. Are you doing campaign for Mama?
I probably am, indirectly, yeah?
But if I think, I mean, for the advanced economies, it's some of these things are prevalent there, where people are working multiple shifts.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
understand? So if that opportunity exists, but for many people, our system is a 9 to 5 system
Yeah.
up to now.
Yeah.
If it changes, the better it is
Unless
for
you're
us.
an entrepreneur or you're a contract for service,
Yes.
Yes.
then you know,
Yeah.
then
Yes.
then it becomes.
But I have also friends that are into the gig economy where they are doing stuff for other people, not even remotely. So you can have 2-3 jobs because of time zones. They're able to do this in the morning, then do this in the. But those are some specialized skills that you probably may have or may not have, depending on the field that you are in. But if you can, again, it's not too stressful for you, because if you're doing 9 to 5 and you're going to do maybe some job, it's really stressful. It has a strain on yourself, your family, and everything. But if you can, nobody says no to extra money coming
No.
in. Yes.
Just tell me, so far, are young people getting involved in conversations like this?
Yes.
You-
So one of the things that I'm really happy about is that over the years, people are now, in fact, have been interested in this. So, in fact, just 2 days ago, I usually host spaces about some of these conversations, and about 516 people joined. And most of these are young people on social media.
Right.
I have an event coming up on 20th of this month. About over 20 people have interest in wanting
Being
to
a
come,
part of it.
being a part of it. And so I see a lot of interest of young people, because again, changes, you have to make that change, because our current systems are not helping us young people. So if you're not actively looking out for opportunities, you're actively looking out for ways you can improve yourself, your peers probably will leave you behind. But like, yes, a lot of people are now much more interested in financial literacy. Previously, it wasn't like that. Pick someone about savings and investment, be like,
That's
bruv,
it.
Yeah, it's true.
I want to spend my money now. But now, people are thinking of, okay, even if I can save 5 CDs for the next day, I want to do that. So people are more interested in financial
And
literacy
this is
now.
very evident, because since you started having conversations,
Yes.
I mean, with me
Yes.
personally,
Yeah.
and even all through to this
Yeah.
place, I mean, you can see that every day
Yeah.
the engagement is more deeper than
yes.
before.
Before,
Here
yes.
he is doing a presentation to young people and all of that. But what's your 20th events about?
So it's starting the Year Right conference, which is happening at SB Incubator, Silver Star Towers. Basically, I'm bringing not just myself, but a lot of speakers. We speak on outlook of the economy globally and Ghana. We'll show you how to budget and save properly. We'll show you how to save and invest. We'll show you how to set your financial goals. We'll show you proper investments to do. And for entrepreneurs as well, show them how to also raise money in Ghana. All of these things for free. So, yes, all of these things for free. So all that you have to do is just sign up. If you go to my socials, I have put a link there, Instagram, Twitter, you can just sign up, and we'll just send you the details, and you can just come show up.
That's so cool.
Are you not looking for MCs? Because this could be a gig for us. Yeah. Double host.
This year,
Yeah.
this year, we're our side gig, we're
Yeah.
strengthening it. We're
Corporate
watering
MC,
it.
yes, we're doing it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
won't charge you plenty. So.
But the guy just said that it's for free. right?
Yeah, some also
For
this
young people, that's
volunteerism
so
very well
volunteerism.
would help.
But
That's
anyway,
one.
so again, just reiterate it.
Yes.
On your socials,
Just,
how...
yeah.
Desmond Bredu, that's my name. So on Twitter, it's my pinned tweet about the details. On Instagram, the link is in my bio as well. Also on Twitter as well. LinkedIn, Desmond Bredu as well. You can just find the link there and you can just register as well. It's
And
absolutely for
20th.
free, 20th of January.
That's so cool.
Desmond, thank you so much.
That's
Very
what always
thoughtful
makes
of
it
you.
really, really easy,
Very easy.
very nice.
Very.
And very, you are, he's one of the
We're a
finance
solid guy.
people
We're a
that,
solid guy.
you know,
Yeah.
even his watch
And you
says,
trust. Do you know the whole time I was looking at his watch?
This is the
I was
fact I put my watch
and I
behind.
and I said, MFI is definitely looking at this watch.
I was.
My birthday is on the August. Is on 1st August, which you
First
already know.
August.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
what you want?
Yeah. So that's what please
Made
show.
life very easy. I made life very easy
know.
for me.
Anyways, that's what. Thank you so much.
you very much.
And we're wishing you a great year.
Yeah.
You started out well, and we wish you all the best.
Thank
And
you very
finally,
much.
really.
You should. You should go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Alright.
guys, yes, so that's it. I hope that you put when I told you to take your pen and a paper. If you didn't, at least we'll put up on our socials, especially on YouTube, so you can catch the conversation. And then you can start your year very right, especially on finances. It's a series we have started, and so definitely we are going to be continuing this budgeting. There's so much that we want to talk about so that your year is quite right financially. In the meantime, we recommend that you go for that 20th of January
conference,
event with,
yeah.
is it a conference? It's a conference, for the okay, so yeah, go and learn something from Desmond. He didn't say everything here, so please join in, sign up and go and learn something. But definitely,
Meanwhile, yes. Sorry, we're breaking records, aren't we? Is that what you're going to talk about?
yeah, what record do you think?
That's what record do you want to break this year?
Record of getting along a lot of
Yes,
people.
if I get 10,000 people to invest, probably that'll be a personal record. But
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm
That's,
saying.
that's a
Yeah,
good one.
yeah.
But Edusafwa wants to break a record of the longest speech by a person. Mm-hmm. Is that not what we said we wanted to do? The longest hosting, 5 days non-stop.
Yeah,
But Edusafwa is going to break that for us.
on our behalf.
Yes, please.
But let's still find something. Are you sure, Godwin? The video that we watched, the Kwabwa video, you're sure there's nothing in there you can do to break?
If I sound you right now. Anyways, guys, stay tuned.